What's up everybody? Dan here with Dan at StairMakers, and we are coming back at you with another Tool Tuesday. This one's kind of a fun one because we're actually outside using this new Milwaukee 18 volt fuel chainsaw. This is a cordless chainsaw. I have not used a cordless one before. I've used a corded electric one before, but not a completely cordless one. This is a 16-inch bar, 18 volt chainsaw. It comes with, in the particular setup my dad got, two 12 amp hour 18 volt red lithium batteries. These things are bricks. I mean, they are big. We have a full charge. I had this on the battery charger overnight, so we should be good to go on that. And give it a real world test. What we had here is a ponderosa pine. This thing fell over recently. Unfortunately, it was damaged about 8 feet up. This is the damaged chunk here that was still on the stump. It got cut off, but it broke at the damaged portion. It's at its widest, it's going to be about, with bark included, just a hair over 17 inches. So it's a decent sized tree, and for a cordless chainsaw, I would say really decent, and it's sappy. So we went ahead and limbed it up yesterday. I've got some footage of that I'll throw in.
Do I need to be your swamper?
If you want to, you could. But basically I'm gonna say it's a 70-foot tall tree, and it's a ponderosa pine, so its off limbs are a pretty decent size. So we limbed it up, cut the bad portion of the butt off, so we've got this nice round here. And that was approximately, when I was done, I checked the battery, and it had 2 bars left on the battery. We went and took lunch, I came back, went to fire up the chainsaw, and it was then dead. So a little curious as to why it was saying it had 2 bars left. Leave it for an hour, come back, and it's no longer even got enough juice to run at all. So we're gonna take as many whacks at the butt of this tree as we can, see how many slices we can do with one battery. Kind of a real world longevity test where it's just running, and give it a try. Some of the nice things about this is that chain tension adjustment is really easy. It just takes a standard scrunch, which is one of these chainsaw wrenches. This one works on my Husky. So that's a nice feature. You're not looking for some proprietary weird size. So like I said, 16-inch bar. Not sure on the chain size. Let's see here. It's a 0.043 width or 1.1 millimeter wide. It's looking like tooth. Is that an offset? Oh, that's the groove on the backside. And then 9056 for the chain itself. So, like I said, I haven't done a huge amount with chainsaws. Enough to where I've chopped up some firewood and good stuff like that. It's got the standard brake, where you set it back, it'll run, and then if for some reason the saw bucks, it'll pop forward. I think they've got 11 different warnings listed here on the back side. It's got your bar oil cap here, which is a really nice large knob that's easy to open up. And it's got a little side trigger here that you have to depress, or side safety that you have to depress before you can pull the trigger. As you can see, nothing happens, so it's an actual electrical interconnect that is engaged when this is forward. So it isn't trying to run against a physical brake, it's an electrical brake. There's one. There's two. Three. All right, Penny, get back. And we continue. Eat your treat over there. There's four. Five. It appears that our chip ejection port filled up, so put the safety on. To clear that, I'll pull the battery out. This whole bottom side where the chain is exposed, it's actually wide open, more so than, say, on a gas saw. So let's see, where were we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts. There's 6. What is that? All right, Penny, go. Play anywhere other than right there. Yep. So it was cutting fine up through the end of that cut. And it's flashing 1 bar. So it's dead. So that's kind of, I don't know. I've had that happen now twice where it seems to be cutting fine and then for battery protection or whatever, it's dead. It says, I am gonna keep cutting as long as you're pulling the trigger, and then as soon as you're done, I'm done. So, still on the whole, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 rounds. We started out at about 17 1/4 bark to bark. It's right just at probably about 16 1/2 at its widest bark to bark. So it didn't taper too much in that area. So we had pretty consistent cuts all the way through. It's not a lot of cuts. You'd have to change out your battery multiple times. These tend to take quite a while to charge up. So yeah, it might not be too bad for limbing things out where you're working at home, but when you're coming out into the woods and you're gonna, you know, dice up a 60, 70 foot tall tree for firewood, 7 cuts isn't a lot. And this is probably a pretty reasonable size to get 4 or 5 pieces of split wood out of. So, little disappointing. Batteries are heavy, batteries are big, but as far as limbing this tree up, it was really nice because you run the saw, you limb it, you toss the limb off to the side. You're not having to constantly have the saw idling or pull starting it. Some people might not care. Still nothing there. So as far as it goes, chain's still pretty good. I did have to tighten it up just a little bit after yesterday's limbing, but that, like I said, was really easy. Like anytime you're out in the forest, nothing is level, nothing is good grip. Everything's a little slick and slippery right now with moisture and rain yesterday. So it's got the adjustment knob there. The scrunch just goes in there. You can tighten or loosen the blade up really easily. They've got, looks like an oiling port right at the tip of the bar here, so you can oil this top bearing, which is nice. As far as everything else, it's fairly lightweight. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice this. It appears that there's a scrunch built into this in the bottom here. I just noticed. So right there, there's appears to be one. I don't know how you get it out. I'm not getting it out very easily. Let's see. I'm assuming it pops out that way. Yeah. Wow. I had to use another wrench to get it out. So it's got a little one built in. It doesn't appear that there's any way to push it out from on top. So unless this retainer pin here, there's a little metal retainer clip there, unless that loosens up, I wasn't able to pop it out by finger. Yeah, that's really firm. You need another scrunch to get in there to pull it out. That's you probably won't lose it, but if you can't get it out when you need it without another one, why have it there? That might be a little odd. Some of the DeWalt stuff, like I have the DeWalt cordless chop saw or hot saw, cut-off saw. It's got a sealed rubber gasketed cover that covers the battery compartment, similar to this. This one's open top, but they do have a nice big hole in the bottom here. So any sawdust, wood chips, things like that, you can blow out of there and get it out. So that's not bad. But it does have, on the brake handle here, it shows no rain. So obviously, probably no power tool manufacturers, excuse me, are gonna recommend putting your tool out in the rain. But like I said, out in the woods here, it's gonna sprinkle inadvertently. It's just gonna happen at some point. So as far as the tool goes, ergonomics wise, not too bad. Weight wise, not too bad as far as a whole saw. The teeth here on the side of the bar that you can use to help give yourself a little bit of bite and pivot the saw to cut, they're rather small. They don't stick out very far, maybe a ½ inch. So on a bigger tree like this where you're actually going to use them, you don't use them when you're limbing typically, but on a bigger tree like this, if there's any taper to the butt, you might not be able to actually engage those teeth. So maybe a little bit smaller than they should be, but then again, they're probably trying to get maximum bar length by not eating up bar length with those teeth. So on the whole, not too bad. As far as cutting up big wood, probably not your best choice. As far as limbing big wood, not too bad. So until next time, this is Dan with Dan and Sarah Makers. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment. All of those things really help us a lot. We're going to be focusing more on getting into out in the woods, this house site here, and just doing what we really enjoy. So until next time, have a good one.